My first memory of my dad, well, my first memory period is him beating my mom, and after that, me and my mom separated ourselves from him, and he's just kind of been an occasional drunken phone call throughout my whole life. I grew up being raised by my mom, who struggled with a meth addiction, so not really much of a strong male role model there. By the time I was 19, I was waking up with a bottle of vodka under my pillow every day. That all led me up to Teen Challenge. My first day in the program, I heard a song that just kept repeating, "Oh, how he loves us, oh, how he loves us," and that did something to me. It broke me, and I couldn't love myself at that time, and I felt like such a piece of crap for the way I'd been living my life, but God used that worship song to break me and open my eyes to see that, you know, there was something higher than myself, that something higher than myself was Jesus, and that he had been relentlessly pursuing me for my whole life.
I became very passionate about being pro-life following the birth of both of my kids. And it's funny how God does that in a man's heart. There's a real crisis of fatherhood, put it that way, in our world today, particularly with the lack of Christian men, and even Christian men sometimes who fail to be the dads that they're called to be. When you think of a crisis pregnancy center, you think of women, but that, I think, is, you're not really looking at the big picture. We wanted to form something that was going to be able to give men a model to follow, the reality, the truth of who God is and what He's calling us to be as men and as dads and as husbands, and center that around their current situation of being either a father-to-be or a dad who was at a point in his life when he needed some guidance. So that's what we try to give them. The responsibility it has to be borne by the father himself. In the end, he's going to be given what he needs to be given.
When me and my girlfriend got the news that we were pregnant and that we were having a baby, we were terrified. We were filled with shame because of the stigma that went along with being a Christian and having premarital sex and that being exposed. Every negative feeling that you could possibly think of, we were feeling at that time. And it was Lisa and Nurse Nancy. They greeted us with like a positive perspective. They were happy about the new life that God was bringing into the world, and they prayed for us right then and there. They not only prayed for us, but they sent us out with the confidence that, you know, God knew what He was doing when He blessed us with this baby. It wasn't an accident, it wasn't a fluke, and you know, they gave us a real sense of like purpose and drive and motivated us to be happy about what we just discovered.
A good candidate for our men's program would be a man that has a submissive heart and a heart that's a teachable heart.
I've been in the program at Corona Life Services for almost the whole pregnancy, for about, I'd say 7 months. I got hooked up with Tom, who is one of my mentors, pretty much my only strong male role model that I've had in my life for a really long time.
He is a committed young man. I could tell that from the beginning. He drives in from Redlands and newly married and about to be a dad, but was very scared and apprehensive.
Once a week, I get to meet with him. He holds me accountable as far as, you know, am I praying with my wife? Am I doing everything I can to not only be a good father, but he's trying to train me in being a good husband, because if I can't be a good husband, I can't really hope to be a good father.
Tanner's a young man who's pursuing Christ and is serious about that commitment, which is very refreshing. So our focus of our visits are always around the Christ model of who Jesus was, who we're supposed to be as men, and then who we are called to be as fathers, and in his case also as a husband.
In the program, they help me out in two ways, in practical ways and also in a spiritual aspect. He has not only helped guide me and direct me and show me characteristics that I want to adopt into my life in order to be a good dad and husband, but he's dug a little deeper and helped me deal with unresolved issues from my dad and my experience with who was supposed to be my father, and in turn that's kind of helped me understand myself and understand what I need to really focus on if I'm gonna raise my son Malachi in the Lord. I would recommend Corona Life Services to just about anyone, regardless of background, regardless of if you had a good father or a bad father, because Corona Life Services has kind of helped shape my view of what a father is through showing me the perfect example of a father, which is God and how He cares for us and fathers us. So yeah, I'd recommend Corona Life Services to anybody.
When you're dealing with anything that's pro-life or being a dad, we need to be more proactive with the front end. To avoid pregnancy is not about birth control. It's about sexual purity. It's about being who you're called to be, not who you feel you need to be. What the world tells you is what then leads to pregnancies that are unplanned, but they're not unplanned by the one who creates and gives us life.